Hello and welcome back to my channel where I like to have fun with all things beauty while being critical about what I accept into my collection. Today is a good old-fashioned empties video. I will say up front that when I first filmed this, I filmed it after my Angelica review. So if I refer to that in this video, that's why. I had to refilm the intro to both videos because I was originally going to combine the review and my empties, but the video got a little bit too long and I just wound up realizing that the videos made more sense separated. I'm also going to add a product that I finished but I forgot to put in my basket, and that is the Farmacy Honey Milk Toner. This is a hydrating essence with chamomile and ceramides, and milky toners or essences or whatever you want to call them are very popular these days. I know there are so many on the market, and while this is 4 fluid ounces, which is substantial, and I picked it up when it was 20% off during the Sephora sale, and I have to say I enjoyed it. I just feel like if I'm really being honest with myself, I can find something equally as nice for about half the price in K-Beauty. You know, I have such dry skin that I have tried a ton of milky toners over the years, and this is absolutely one of the more enjoyable ones. Like, there's no two ways about it. It was a pleasure to use because as soon as I put it on, it gave me a soothing feeling. And really, when I'm looking forward to using any skincare, it's usually because of the instant soothing effect. That is one of the more obvious effects. Obviously, I also like to end my routine with glowy skin, and different products bring different things to the table in terms of what I'm going to repurchase. But this step is one that I look for to soothe my skin, and this definitely delivered on that. Because of that, if this ever went on sale, I would grab it in a heartbeat, and I will say it lasted a long time. I did not go through it too quickly, and I can go through, like, I went through the tier version of this very quickly for some reason. You know, the way these are formulated, viscosity can change how quickly you burn through some of these, but this one lasted a good time. And I think price per ounce, it's pretty decent. It's just not something that I would go out of my way for unless it was on sale. I did finally finish my Benefit Pomade. This is the only makeup product in this. There's typically none, so finishing anything is a big deal. I love seeing pan. This is my favorite, and I've spoken about this before, for my brows because I am like practically hairless. It takes a lot for me to get brows on with a pencil, so I just like the speed of this. I use shade 2.5. I already have another one going. It's just the quickest. Do I think it does the best job? Not really, but it does the fastest job. So for that reason, I will keep buying that. I also finished one of my timeless CoQ10 serums. I like these so much because they're just non-sensitizing and they're hydrating. They also play well with everything. I've never had a timeless serum pill on me, so I love that. This is mostly CoQ10 and hyaluronic acid, but it also contains Matrixyl 3000. And I always like to have peptides on board. I don't know, like from a scientific perspective, that they're making a difference, but I don't know that they're not. And I feel like I rather have them on board and gamble that they're doing something than gamble that they're not, because they're cheap and inoffensive and hydrating. So I'm always going to try to have Matrixyl 3000, and I also like Matrixyl Sin 6. Those come in a lot of the timeless serums, so, you know, these are good and affordable, so I'm going to keep them on board as long as I can do that easily. I also finished up a sample of the Estee Lauder Advanced Night Repair. This is a Bifida serum. I don't go out of my way to buy this, but if I get a free sample, I always pick it up because I know it's something that my skin likes. It doesn't have a bad reaction. This is just a very general skin barrier supportive ingredient. I use the one from Manyo because it's much more cost effective. I've really tried both for long periods of time, and I don't feel like the Estee Lauder does anything for my skin that I don't get from Manyo. Because I love Bifida, I decided to try this Abib Jericho Rose Bifida serum. Jericho Rose is supposed to be very skin strengthening, and Bifida is skin strengthening, so it seemed like a nice combination. This was also a creamier serum, and it had I believe ceramides and different things. I thought it was kind of like my Manio serum on steroids, like the same thing but with even more benefits. I didn't really find that. I used this whole thing. This was a good size. This was 1.69 fluid ounces, and it was very affordable. So this is actually something I see myself purchasing again. It just didn't do anything for me from a soothing perspective where I thought it outdid my Manu serum. I do think it is slightly cheaper. So when I'm done with the serum that I have now, I could see myself trying this again. I also wanted to jump in and say that along with the Abib toner, I also tried the moisturizer. So I'm using this as my daytime moisturizer, and as you can see, I will be reviewing it in my next Empties. I bought the pair to use together though, so I thought it was worth mentioning. I like both of these products a lot. I don't feel like either of them were revolutionary, but they're really well priced and I would absolutely buy both of them again. I also finished this Dermalogica Phyto Nature Lifting Eye Cream. This wasn't anything that I would go out of my way to purchase. This was a free sample. It's a deluxe sample. It actually lasted kind of a long time, I guess because you're really just dabbing it under your eyes. My favorite thing about this is that it wasn't sensitizing. I find so many eye creams irritating, and my skin under my eyes is already so problematic that I don't want to do anything to irritate it and make it worse. So I loved using this just because it was soothing and hydrating. So I would say the Dermatologica, if you see, I can't say this name. If you ever see this on sale, I don't think you'd be disappointed. Like if this popped up 50% off at some point, I would absolutely buy a full tube of it. It's just not something I would go out of my way because you can use moisturizer for the same effect. So the moisturizer that I finished that I'm so disappointed to report on is this from Peach and Lily because I loved this and it's way too expensive. This is the Ultra Plush Rich Cream. I might put this in my video title because this was another one. I couldn't find a single unbiased review on this. I searched the crap out of it when it popped up. It was on sale at Ulta a few months ago, and I barely saw any reviews at all. So I'm here to tell you that I purchased this for myself and I really loved it. It didn't do anything dramatic, but it was soothing and hydrating, and it left a really nice finish. I liked to, most people would use this at night, by the way, because it is so thick, but I really like to use it during the day. I would use this, and then I would use either primer, sunscreen, something on top of it before makeup, and it wasn't too much. It didn't pill, didn't cause any issues. It sat very nice on the skin, so I thought this was fabulous as a daytime moisturizer. I love Peach and Lily. I don't like paying Peach and Lily prices. I sort of feel similarly to this as I do the Dermalogica cream, except this edges that out because the finish is so nice. So if I'm choosing between the two, I'm going to splurge on the one that I think makes my skin look nicer. I did want to throw in the fact that I picked up this Byoma Barrier Repair Treatment because it was on sale, as always, but I actually was shocked at the fact that it left such a similar finish to the Peach and Lily that this might be a worthy replacement. Now, it's not a replacement in terms of ingredients. The ingredient decks are quite different, but the consistency and the finish is so incredibly similar that I look forward to reporting back on this. I just started using this a few days ago. So if you're a diehard Peach and Lily fan and you love this moisturizer, but you're looking for a cheaper option, I would absolutely try the Barrier Repair Treatment from Byoma, the one in the purple container, because I loved this just as much. And if anything, it might be slightly thicker. So if you're extra, extra dry, you might like it even more. Speaking of the Byoma Barrier Repair Treatment, I wanted to say I did put the ingredient list side by side between this and the Peach and Lily. I know that they have very similar finishes, but obviously the Peach and Lily ingredient list has a lot more going on. Peach and Lily products in general tend to be that way. So they're not comparable really, but the finishes are. So for that reason, I just threw the ingredient list up just in case you were curious. Like, this certainly is not a dupe, but it leaves a similar finish. And for me right now, that's enough. I sort of tend to put my money in my serum step and toners, things that get into the skin more easily. I will spend more money on a nice hydrating moisturizer because I have such dry skin. That is a very important step for me, but I don't tend to really want to put my highest investment there if I don't have to. So for that reason, I thought this one was worth mentioning. For cleansers, I finished this little Caudalie Vino Clean Cleansing Almond Milk. I just grabbed this from Amazon. It's like a travel size 100 ml. I just was interested to see if it really was a good soothing cleanser, and unfortunately it is. I say unfortunately because it's way too expensive and I won't buy a full size of that, but if you have extra sensitive skin and even cleansers are stripping, you might really love this. I know it's something that I will love to purchase again in the future. I also tried a Byoma Melting Balm Cleanser. I really liked this. It was a very effective cleanser, but if you can see, I don't love the container because all of the Byoma stuff, it comes in this really bulky, like it's only the center part that is open and containing product. So all of this bulky outer packaging is just kind of unnecessary. I mean, it's kind of aesthetically pleasing and you know, this is affordable. So I don't feel like it's changing the perception or, you know, that you're not getting enough product. This is a 2.12 ounces, 60 grams. It's not really what I prefer in a balm cleanser, but it's over 2 ounces. So I'm okay with that. I just find it hard to get a sense of how fast you're using it. So the entire time I was sticking my fingers in this, I had no idea how much I had left. And that was sort of disorienting. I like to make sure that I always have enough cleanser, and I use a ton of makeup and a ton of sunscreen. I use so much sunscreen, especially earlier in the day when I'm walking my dog, that I really need an effective cleanser. So to feel like I was going to run out and be surprised, I mean, I wasn't. When I really got towards the bottom, I was able to tell how many uses I had left, but I don't know. That's sort of a silly reason not to like something, but I guess it just wasn't my favorite. If it's on sale, I'll absolutely buy another one, but I found the packaging of that to be more annoying than some of the other things from Byoma that I've tried. I finished one sunscreen. I did not use this on its own as a sunscreen, but I used it as a sunscreen topper. So this is the Eucerin Sensitive Mineral Face SPF 35. I like this because it's tinted. That's it. It has iron oxides in it, and I mean, it also has other mineral sunscreen, but I like to use something tinted because the iron oxides help filter out visible light, and if you have melasma, you know, you'll take all the help you can get. So I like to put my regular sunscreen on and then put just a little bit of this on top when I'm actually going to be outside. During the day, I don't really bother to do that. I use just my regular sunscreen and then makeup because makeup has iron oxides in it as well. Then I finished up an AGE-R, a Medicube. This is for microcurrent, microcurrent gel. I got this on Amazon. I think it was like $14. I did splurge and get their newer version. They have one that is just a little bit more hydrating with collagen added in it. And I do like this one better. However, do I like it better enough to spend an extra $5 or however much it is to use that when I'm putting it on my skin for 5 minutes a day and then wiping it off? I don't think so. I'll probably go ahead and buy this cheaper one. What I love about this is it's one of the very few microcurrent gels that I can use that doesn't burn my skin. I'm not sure what's in the new face gel or a bunch of the other popular gels on the market, but it really, really burns my skin. So using something like this or one of the more generic ultrasound gels that you can get on Amazon, that's the only thing that really makes sense for me. And I'll admit, I like using something that's also hydrating because my skin can take all the hydration it can get. And before I forget, probably the most impressive thing about these all the different gels from Medicube is they stay wet on your face. Like, I don't know if you've ever used the new face gel, but if you have, you know that stuff dries up so flippin' fast that I was having to spray my face with water so I didn't go through a full tube reapplying it. And yeah, I would work in sections, but regardless, it's just annoying. So having something that you can just put all over and do your whole face without having to reapply and be all gooey and sticky, it's so much more convenient. So I highly recommend those Medicube gels. I do plan on buying a Medicube device this Black Friday. I've been really interested in the most recent device that came out, the one that like is multifunctional. I forget what it's called, but hopefully I'll be able to get that this year and do a review on that in the future. I also finished one of my Avene thermal waters. I finish one of these like every other Empties video. I go through them too fast, and I have to say I did go without this, and I do think this makes ever so slight difference in my skin sensitivity. We have very hard water here, so I wash my face regularly, I dry it off, and then I spray it with this, and then I dry that off. So this is the last thing that touches my skin rather than our hard water. I don't know if it's all in my head or what, but it feels really nice. So I'm going to keep doing it. I finished up one of my agency future formulas. This is where I get my tretinoin. I have a formula that has tretinoin at 0.1, anthanol, tranexamic acid, and niacinamide. I've been on tretinoin for a long time, I think almost 3 years now, and for a really long time I was at 0.14, then I reduced it to 0.1. It's coming up on 4 months, and I have not noticed any decrease in sensitivity or dryness. So because of that, I'm going to go back up to 0.14 because I do think my acne was better controlled at that strength. So it's sort of a trade-off with tretinoin. You know, like I said earlier, I don't want to do anything to increase inflammation. Right now, controlling my acne is probably the best way to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and increase my dose once I'm finished with my current bottle of this. This and the Snoxin are 2 reviews that are going to come up in the future. I don't know if this was super useful, but I hope it was somewhat useful. My biggest takeaway from trying skincare, and I've tried so much skincare in the past 5 years, like I'm talking thousands of dollars, unfortunately, is that you don't need to spend a lot to have good skincare. That being said, when you spend more, you can benefit from better formulations. So I do think there's a happy middle ground. I am not an extremist in one way or the other, but I do think it's worth testing different things and just seeing what works best for your skin. And I'm here to provide honest feedback on what's worked for me. And that's it for today. I hope you're having a fabulous week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.